Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. In studio with me this morning is Mandi Reis with the Neighborhood Care Center. Good morning, Mandi.
Good morning, Seth.
Good to see you today. Thanks for making time for us. And you've got Sandra with you today. Tell me about Sandra and why you brought her out today.
Yeah, so I invited Sandra to come with me. She's actually a mission partner of ours. She is a team lead for our Thursday morning stocking team. But the reason I invited her was she was actually a huge part of our Inspire event, which, that's something that we started last year as our first ever fundraiser. And we did it again for the second time this year. And I invited in some people that I thought would be a really good addition to the team. And Sandra was one of those people. And so we had Inspire back on April 11th. And we thought we'd spend some time this morning just celebrating what happened there. And yeah.
Well, welcome, Sandra. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Inspire for you. Tell us a little bit about this event. For folks that may not be familiar with it, what's it all about?
Well, it was held in Hayworth, and there were several events that evening. We had a wonderful silent auction, and we had a wonderful dinner catered in by Annie's Eats. And there were dueling pianos. We had a little egg hunt. And I felt like it was a way to celebrate and raise money at the same time.
Sure.
And it was just a great time. I enjoyed helping out. And
so how did you help out?
I actually did a lot of the silent auction items. Went through the community and got lots of donations.
But that's hard. Yeah, to go and ask people for stuff.
Not my thing.
Yeah, it's not my
fun. Thing. So God bless you for that. Oh man,
that's, and the generosity was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So put that together. Tell me a little bit about just in terms of planning for Inspire. When does that process begin? What's it look like? How about some of those things?
Yeah. So, honestly, it really kind of starts as soon as the first one ended, because you really got to start looking at the calendar. Like, you think a year's a really long time, and it's just not. It's not long enough ever. You're like, I could use a couple extra weeks, but looking at dates on the calendar, like this year we had, because of the way Easter fell, and then you prom and spring break and all these things. So it's like, okay, we have to find a date, and then we have to see, does this date work for our venue? And so it's really like a year-long process. But I would say pedal to the metal, really organizing the details is probably about 3 months out.
Okay.
And that's probably when Sandra came along. So I had Sandra and 2 other mission partners of ours come in and help facilitate some of those elements, because it is, going and we had over 40 silent auction items, so to have one person do all that asking is a lot. And we also, to prepare for the event, because obviously we're a nonprofit, right? So we have to do things at a minimal cost. So we actually seek a lot of business sponsorships too. So we spend a lot of time, 3 months out, sending things to businesses, asking for them to sponsor, to help put on the event. And that was our big goal when we first introduced Inspire, was we knew we would need to do some type of fundraiser, because like any organization, we have lost funding through COVID. And, times are just hard for people, and so usually if they give to an organization, that might be one of the first things to go in terms of a personal budget, and we get it. And so we've kind of had to make up some differences along the way. And so that's kind of where Inspire came from. But our big goal was, we've all been to a banquet or a fundraiser that just feels really stuffy and boring. And we didn't want that, when we talked about it, the big thing was we didn't want it to feel like a spaghetti dinner in a church basement, even though like spaghetti dinners are great, but we wanted it to be something that people came to and they left being like, man, that was really fun. And we actually had one of our mission partners last year. His name's John. At the end of the night last year, he came up to me and he's like, Mandi, I'm going to be honest. I was a 3 coming into tonight, like not excited at all. And he's like, I am a 10. Like, this was so great. And then this year he was super hands-on. Like, he's like, I want to help out. I want to, can I donate some stuff for the silent auction? So like, that's just really cool. And so that's something that we kind of pride ourselves on, is we want it to be fun and for people to come and just have a good time, but also it be beneficial for Neighborhood Care Center.
Sure. Well, dueling pianos will make it fun. You know, that's a good time. What other ways did you make it fun?
So one of the biggest things that we do that I think was a new idea for a lot of people last year, it's called a dessert dash. And so your table puts together a collective bid that you decide, hey, I want to put $20 towards my table's bid or whatever. And then we have a table full of desserts, and there's enough desserts for each table. And so you as a table decide, we want that dessert, and this is how much we're going to put towards it. And then we go in order of who gave the most to the least, and you dash for your dessert. So the table that gives the most, they don't have to dash. They just get to come up, take their dessert, and go back to their table. Everyone else, we do it in like 5 heats. So we have like 5 to 6 runners from each table come up, and we do like a rope drop, and we do 3, 2, 1 dash, and they kind of have to like run to the table to grab their dessert, but they don't know, like maybe the person next to me, they want my brownies that I've been eyeing this whole time. So it's just a really fun, it's silly, but people seem to really enjoy it. And I think our top table gave over like $1,200 for dessert. And we ended up making almost $6,000 just off that one little element. And it's just fun. And the cool part is a lot of our mission partners are the ones who donate the desserts. So it's just fun. It's a fun way to get everyone involved. And
Very good. So Inspire April 11th was the date. And so when it comes to just thinking about this event going forward, Mandi, I mean, it sounds like it's popular enough and fun enough to keep it going. How about that? Yeah.
So, I mean, we are looking to have it again next year. We have talked about maybe after next year going to an every other year model, because we all know like anything like this will eventually run its course. And so we want to be mindful of that. So that way we can do it. So that's got us thinking about, well, what do we do in the off years? Because we're still going to have to fundraise.
Right.
It's not an option to not. We were really fortunate and blessed this year that Inspire brought in almost $30,000, which is a huge blessing. But none of that is extra. That is just money for us to meet our budget. Like we talked about with inflation and everything, like we are feeling that as well. Everything's more expensive. And so nights like Inspire are what's necessary to keep the mission and vision of Neighborhood Care Center going.
Gotcha. Was there anything you wanted Sandra to speak on in terms of Inspire?
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe just like, what was your favorite part?
I just loved seeing everyone get together. People from all realms of life. Some I knew, some I didn't. Talking with the people. And I do love the dessert dash. I think that's a good time.
Yeah.
The whole thing, the whole night was just amazing.
Did you do this last year, Sandra?
Yeah.
You did.
I didn't help, but I attended.
You attended last year.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was it like to see what, like, I feel bad saying this, kind of the sausage get made, what was it like to watch that process of this event getting planned out?
It was amazing. I mean, we all worked together. I didn't know the other 2 girls and got to know them, and to see all of our thoughts and ideas come together and just make the night.
Yeah. And I think that's the really beautiful part about Neighborhood Care Center is, our goal is to build a relational network, and so we take that into account in everything we do, not just with our platform services or things that happen within open hours of Neighborhood Care Center, but Inspire is no different. trying to put different people in the room and hopefully connect people who maybe didn't know each other beforehand and walk away with a new friend.
Sure. Well, Sandra, was there anything you wanted to add to the conversation I didn't ask about, just in terms of Inspire, your involvement, anything like that?
I just want to thank Mandi, Cody, and the Neighborhood Care Center for inviting me to help with this. I enjoyed that, and looking forward to more in the future.
Sure. Mandi, was there anything I missed in terms of Inspire you wanted to put out there for us?
No, I think we kind of covered it all.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Very good. How do folks learn more about just Neighborhood Care Center in general?
Yeah, so you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, or you can find us online at neighborhoodcarecenter.net.
Easy enough. Mandi Reis and Sandra Thomas, Neighborhood Care Center, our guests in studio. More to come with them on the morning show. WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Tuesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. Corn and beans starting the day lower and wheat slightly higher. May corn opening 474.5, down a penny. July corn down a penny, 482.25, and December new crop 448.5. That's down 1 3/4. May beans starting the day 1044, down 8. July beans down 7 1/4, 1055.25. New crop November 1027.5, down 7 1/4. May Chicago wheat 519 1/4, up 3 3/4. July wheat up 4, 535, and September wheat 550 1/4, up 4 1/4. May bean meal 286.20, that's down 80 cents, and May bean oil down 83 cents, 49.08. Looking at the opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Tuesday morning, I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
Spring is in the air, so it's time to choose your new Silverado. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We have a good selection of new Silverados with springtime savings and special finance rates. Choose from regular cabs, double cabs, or crew cabs in gas or diesel. We're also allowing extra money for your trade on all new Silverados this month. Silverado, together let's drive. See all our inventory at BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
CEO Paul Scowen here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Come to our annual health fair Thursday, May 15th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on our hospital campus. Lots of free events and raffle prizes. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, and good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, in studio with us today, Mandi Reis and Sandra Thomas with the Neighborhood Care Center. And Sandra, to focus on you a little bit in this segment, first of all, tell us how you became involved in Neighborhood Care Center. What did that first kind of connection look like?
Well, about 4 years ago, I felt like I just wanted to do more. I wanted to do more for the community. I wanted to do more in my faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was talking to Cody, and he invited me into the Neighborhood Care Center for the stocking team.
Mm-hmm.
And I began with that. I did do some in the afternoon with the shoppers and talking with them, but my schedule only allowed me pretty much to do Thursday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I became team lead on Thursday mornings, and I really enjoy that. Getting to know the people there, working with them, and not only stocking shelves, but getting to know their lives and sharing my life with them. And
Mm-hmm.
we always have a huddle in the morning, and we sit down and kind of share things and talk about our mission and why we're there and so I've enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
And also we formed a neighborhood lab,
Mm-hmm.
and I became part of that.
Mm-hmm.
We get together about once a month. There's about 4 of us that get together and just kind of talk about what our calling is. I feel like mine. I really feel that kids need Jesus in their life, and I want to be a part of that. And then also just in the community, helping the community to kind of see what their calling is and where what they should do in life. And so I enjoy meeting with the lab partners, and we sit down for about an hour. And since then, about every year, we change groups. And I wasn't real thrilled with that. I really liked my group. I got to know them over the last year and got close to them. But it's not a goodbye. It's let's just move forward. Take what we gained with that. In another group now, met some new people, and still keep in contact with the people from my first group. I consider we became friends. And now we get together and just kind of discuss, where we're at, and there's a little bit of being held accountable, when you're with a group and talking about your calling and what you want to do.
Yeah. So lab sounds like a support group of sorts.
It somewhat is, yeah.
Yeah. Would you describe it as more than that?
Oh, definitely. Building friendships and just really opening up with each other and yeah, pretty much a support group. But I to me, it seems like a lot more than that.
Okay.
In my heart, in my mind, that you get close to those people, and it kind of opens your eyes too to what your calling may be. And as we all know, that can change, that can change in time. Life changes, things change. And in my heart, I just want to do more. I want to do what I feel God is calling me to do, and listening to that. And I think by being with these people, it kind of opens your eyes to that.
How were you first introduced to Neighborhood Lab?
Just by being at the care center.
Yeah.
Well, and if I can speak, I mean, Sandra's the type of person, like, she's a go-getter, right? So like if she has an idea, like, she's doing it, and you're probably not stopping her. And so I think, like, we recognize those qualities in her because she was already living some of that out.
Yeah.
And so we just saw, like, hey, this might be really beneficial for her to come in and have that support.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the hard part. And that's what Neighborhood Lab is. We call it a missional collaborative, and it's for people who feel called to a person, place, or problem. And we're just a way to support them and encourage them and hopefully inspire them to keep going. And, because we're all on a journey, and so what God calls me to now, it might look very different in 6 months. And how great is it that I have a group of people that can help walk me through what pivoting looks like. And just giving me that encouragement and support along the way.
So why'd you pull her from her first group? She liked those people so much there, Mandi.
Yeah, well, because that's, when we say that Neighborhood Care Center is a relational network, that is what we mean. And so we are doing you a disservice if you are in lab with a group for the next 5 years, right? Because it becomes a little insulated. And we don't want that. We want you to be fully aware of what all is happening right in your midst that you aren't even aware of. And so how cool to be introduced to someone you didn't know and to learn, like, oh my gosh, you're doing, like, I didn't know that was even happening, and just to be like, that's super cool. And then you find a lot of the time, like, even though our callings may look very different, there's some similarities in the struggles that we come against, because honestly, a lot of it is just insecurity, and we all kind of need people rooting for us. And that's really what lab is all about. So there's actually 3 parts to lab. Like, we on-ramp people, which is our filtering system, because it's not just, an open, anybody can come in. Like, we invite people in who are already doing something.
Sure.
And then the second part is we do development. So we do about 4 workshops a year, and they're based off of what we've heard in our lab support groups. So our lab support groups are ran by what we call lab advocates. So it's really their job just to make sure the support groups meet. So it's their job to schedule and to say, hey, we're meeting this place this time, don't forget. And so what we're hearing in those support groups, we actually use to create our workshops for the year.
Yeah. Can I have Sandra weigh in on the work, like any workshops you've done that you've taken note of?
Yeah, I've been to several, and I think you always take away something. There's always a positive thought or to take away from it, and definitely, and I guess I should say the word inspired after I leave those. And I think too, it's really neat to see in the lab how you, even though you may have a different calling than someone else, there's a lot of common ground.
Sure.
And I have found that interesting, that it may be a completely different calling, but boy, there is a lot of common ground.
Are these workshops in-house, Mandi?
So it depends. Because we have 2 network locations. We have a network location in Clinton that serves Clinton and Maroa, and then we have a McLean County network located in Hayworth, but it serves basically all of McLean County except Bloomington Normal.
Got it.
So we kind of split it up. We try to, because we have people that are in lab that are from the Clinton network, but then we also have people who are from McLean. So trying to split that evenly. And we invite in people. So usually, like when Sandra comes to workshops, she knows the topic and where it's at, but she doesn't know who is like facilitating that conversation, because we'll sometimes bring in an outside voice. And we don't have an expectation that people have to come. It's definitely an optional thing for the workshops. We say on-ramping is required, development is optional, but support is necessary. And so the development piece, it's up to the person if they want to come. So usually our workshops, we have probably about 25 to 30 people currently in lab. And we average probably 10 to 15 people that'll come to workshop, because like it didn't, they have something else going on. It doesn't work with their schedule. But yeah. And so, I mean, I know one of the most recent ones I think that Sandra came to was we invited in our friend Garrett Roop. He's actually from the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. And he came down and led a workshop on the art of asking good questions. Because we found people were having a hard time when you're engaging with someone you don't know very well, what that looks like.
Sure. Ladies, I'm sure we can continue this conversation for another 20 minutes. Unfortunately, I got to let you go. Mandi, how do folks learn more about Neighborhood Care Center?
You can follow us on social media, or you can find us at neighborhoodcarecenter.net.
Sandra, good to see you. Thanks for making time for us.
Thank you very much.
That is Sandra Thomas and Mandi Reis with Neighborhood Care Center, our guests in studio. Network news on the way.
WHOW.